It is a Tuesday morning. Ahmad, 56, is sitting at the kitchen table in his flat in Tampines with his payslip in one hand and his CPF statement in the other. He earned $6,800 this month. After CPF deductions, $4,988 hit his account. Normal. Expected. But something is different this month. His CPF statement shows 3 accounts instead of 4. The special account, the one he had been building for 22 years, the one earning 4%, the one he was told was his retirement engine, is gone. Closed on the 19th of January 2025, by order of the government. Ahmad knew it was coming. He had read something about it online 8 months ago and told himself he would figure it out later. He did not figure it out later. He does not know where the money went. He does not know if it is still earning 4%. He does not know what happens next. He is 56. CPF Life does not start until 65. That is 9 years from today. 9 years where something is happening to his money that he does not fully understand. 9 years where decisions he makes, or does not make, will either build the retirement he imagined or quietly dismantle it. Tonight we go through every one of those decisions. What actually happens to your money between 55 and 65 in Singapore? Why this decade is the most consequential in your financial life? And why most people spend it not knowing what is really going on. Start with what nobody tells you clearly. Between 55 and 65, you are not in the savings phase anymore. You are not in the payout phase yet. You are in a third phase that has no name, no obvious deadline, and no annual letter that explains what you should be doing. This decade has more moving parts than any other in your CPF life. 4 things change at 55 alone. 3 more change at 60. 1 critical decision about SRS locked in before the 1st of July 2026. And CPF Life, the income you have been building towards, does not arrive until the very last day of this period. Everything that happens in between determines what that income looks like. Ahmad does not know any of this. He is not unusual. He is the median. Here is what changed the day Ahmad turned 55. His special account was closed. The money, $243,000 accumulated over 22 years at 4%, was split in 2. $220,400 went into his new retirement account, filling the full retirement sum for his cohort in 2026. The remaining $22,600 went into his ordinary account, where it now earns 2.5% per year instead of 4%. That difference, 1.5%, sounds small. On $22,600, it is $339 per year. Money that was earning 4% and now earns 2.5%. Ahmad did not lose the money, but he stopped earning what he was earning, silently, on the day his essay closed. He had a choice. He still has a choice. He can transfer that $22,600 from OA into his retirement account up to the enhanced retirement sum, $440,800 in 2026, and restore the 4% rate, plus earn additional interest of up to 6% on the first $30,000 of his combined balances. Or he can leave it in OA, earning 2.5%, accessible but compounding slower. This is not a complicated decision. It is a transfer on the CPF website. It takes less than 10 minutes. Ahmad has been meaning to do it for 7 months. His retirement account is now running. This is the part that almost nobody fully understands until they see the number. $220,400 in Ahmad's RA, earning 4% per year, for 9 years, with no effort, no decision, no investment, just time. At 4% compounded annually, $220,400 becomes $326,000 by the time Ahmad turns 65. $105,600 of growth, automatically, guaranteed by the Singapore government, from doing absolutely nothing. If Ahmad had topped up the transfer from OA at 56, adding the 22,600 back into RA, his compounding base would be larger. His payout at 65 would be higher. Every dollar left in OA at 2.5% is a dollar not compounding at 4% in the account. That directly determines his monthly CPF Life income for the rest of his life. The retirement account is not a waiting room. It is the most powerful savings engine available to him. These 9 years are not a gap to survive. They are a decade of guaranteed compounding at a rate most private investments cannot reliably beat over the same period. Ahmad knows CPF exists. He does not know this. Now here is where his income changes, and where most people feel the ground shift. Ahmad earned $6,800 this month. Before 55, his CPF contributions were 37% of salary, 20% from him, 17% from his employer. Combined monthly contribution on an $8,000 ceiling, $2,960. After 55, his total CPF rate dropped to 34%. 18% employee, 16% employer. Combined contribution, $2,720. $240 less going into CPF per month. And where it goes changes too. Before 55, contributions flowed into OA, SA, and MediSave based on standard allocation rates. After 55, contributions go primarily to RA, to fill the full retirement sum, and to MediSave. OA receives less. SA is gone. The practical effect: Ahmad's OA piles up slower. If he is still paying an HDB mortgage, which he is, 80 more months to go, he has less CPF to cover it. CPF Board warns explicitly, reduced contribution rates after 55 mean you might have less in your OA to pay for your mortgage each month. If OA runs short, the difference comes from his bank account, in cash, unplanned. Ahmad did not know his mortgage calculation was based on the pre-55 contribution rate. He assumed it would stay the same. It did not. He is going to find out in 3 months when the automatic payment falls short for the first time. Meanwhile, in Queenstown, Linda is 61. She retired early. Her company restructured at 58 and she took the package. She has been managing on savings and a small amount from renting out a room in her flat, about $900 a month. She has $208,000 in her RA and $43,000 in her OA. CPF Life does not start for 4 more years. Her question is not about growth. Her question is, what do I actually live on right now? This is the gap nobody plans for. The income gap between when you stop earning and when CPF Life begins. It is not theoretical. For Linda, it is 4 years. For someone who defers CPF Life to 70 to get the 35% payout increase, it is up to 15 years from the day they stop working. The minimum income standard for a single elderly person in Singapore was $1,492 per month as of 2022, according to the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. Adjusted for Singapore's long-term average inflation of approximately 2.5% per year, that number is approximately $1,580 in 2026. Linda needs at minimum that. She wants more. 4 years, 12 months each, 48 months of $1,580 minimum, $75,840. That is what the gap cost Linda in its most basic form. She has $43,000 in OA earning 2.5%. She has room rental at $900. She has reduced her spending, stopped dining out, moved her integrated shield plan to a lower tier ward class. She is managing. Barely. What Linda does not have is the bridge she should have started building at 50. She built the retirement account. She did not build the crossing. Here is what the crossing looks like. And why it needs to start now, not when you receive the letter. Singapore Savings Bonds. Government-backed. Redeemable any month without penalty. The current 10-year average yield, 2.11% per annum as at the July 2026 issuance. Not spectacular, but safe, liquid, available any month you need it, and genuinely useful as a bridge holding account. The maximum any single person can hold in Singapore savings bonds, $200,000. A couple, $400,000 combined. Linda, with $43,000 in OA, could have been building SSBs in parallel from her 50s, setting aside $1,000 a month from 50 to 58, 8 years, at 2.5% to 3%, giving her approximately $101,000 in a ladder of SSBs, each redeemable independently, each earning government-backed interest while she waited. She did not do this. Not because she was irresponsible, because nobody showed her the gap in advance. The Supplementary Retirement Scheme, SRS, also exists precisely for this bridge. Contributions up to $15,300 per year reduce your taxable income today. When you withdraw after the statutory retirement age, only 50% of the withdrawal is taxable. Spread withdrawals over 10 years from 63, and most Singaporeans in retirement pay close to zero tax on their SRS income. Here is the detail that mattered in 2026. Open your SRS account before the 1st of July 2026. Your penalty-free withdrawal age locks in at 63, the previous retirement age. Open it on the 2nd of July. Your withdrawal age locks in at 64. 1 day, permanent difference. The government raised Singapore's statutory retirement age to 64 from the 1st of July 2026. SRS, withdrawal rights, follow the age at the time of your first contribution. If you have not opened an SRS account and contributed even $1 before that date, you have already missed this particular window. The next one does not exist. Now here is the invisible cost that almost nobody calculates. Ahmad is still paying his mortgage. His monthly HDB installment is $1,340. He has been paying it automatically from OA for 11 years. He assumed he would continue paying it from OA. He assumed OA would keep filling at the same rate. It will not. After 55, the OA allocation rate drops. Before 55, at his salary level, Ahmad's OA was receiving approximately 23% of his gross salary contribution. After 55, with total CPF contribution now at 34%, and allocation going first to RA and MediSave, his OA receives approximately 14%. On an $8,000 OW ceiling, that is approximately $1,120 per month, less than his $1,340 mortgage. The $220 shortfall comes from his bank account, every month, from age 55 onwards until the mortgage is paid. $220. Not catastrophic, but Ahmad did not plan for it. It comes out of the $4,988 that hits his account. It reduces what he can save or invest during the 9 remaining years before CPF LIFE begins. If Ahmad had known at 52 that this was coming, he could have made one lump sum OA top-up, or partially repaid the mortgage using his OA balance before 55, or reserved OA savings in advance through CPF's reservation function. Any of these would have been better than discovering a monthly shortfall 3 months after his birthday. CPF Board publishes this explicitly. The official guidance says, reduced CPF contribution rates after age 55 mean you might have less in your OA for your mortgage each month. Make alternative financing arrangements if needed. Ahmad did not read the official guidance. He is not alone. In Ang Mo Kio, Priya is 53. She is the one in this story who has time. Her special account has $192,000. Her ordinary account has $68,000. She earns $9,400 per month as a senior HR manager. 2 years from now, she turns 55. Her SA will close. She knows this. She read the CPF Board official announcement. She has been sitting on it for 4 months, thinking she will plan it next month. Here is what she knows that Ahmad and Linda did not know at her age. She knows that the day her SA closes, any amount above the full retirement sum that stays in OA earns 2.5% instead of 4%. She knows she can top up her RA to the enhanced retirement sum, $440,800 in 2026 and earn 4 to 6% on that money instead. She knows the enhanced retirement sum will increase each year, so she can continue topping up annually to follow it higher. She knows that $8,000 per year contributed to RA in cash under the retirement sum topping up scheme earns her tax relief from IRA. At her income, her marginal tax rate is 15%, $8,000 in top-ups, $1,200 back in tax savings each year, not the bonus, a calculable guaranteed rebate she is choosing not to collect right now. She knows the SRS deadline. She has not opened an SRS account yet. Today is the 16th of June 2026. She has 15 days. Priya opens her SRS account on the 28th of June with a contribution of $1 Singapore dollar. Her penalty-free withdrawal age, 63. Locked. Permanent. No matter how many times the government raises the retirement age after this. Next month, she begins contributing $15,300 per year, the maximum for Singapore citizens, and investing it inside SRS into Singapore REITs and ETFs. Every year from now to 65, 12 years. Tax relief at 15% on $15,300. $2,295 saved annually. Total tax savings over 12 years, $27,540. She does this instead of leaving the money in her savings account earning 1%. Here is what this decade looks like for all three of them by the time they reach 65. Ahmad never transferred the $22,600 back from OA to ORA, never made an ORSTU top-up, did not plan for the mortgage shortfall, opened no SRS. His ORA at 65. Approximately $326,000 from the compounding alone. CPF LIFE payout. Standard plan. Approximately $1,780 per month. Linda. Built no bridge. 48 months at her minimum income level consumed most of her OA. RA compounded correctly. CPF LIFE payout at 65. Approximately $1,640 per month. She spent the 4-year gap in managed austerity, renting the room, cutting everything non-essential. Priya transferred excess OA into RA at 55, contributed $8,000 per year under RSTU for 12 years, collected $27,500 in tax savings. SRS now holds $180,000 invested in Singapore SREITs and bank ETFs. At 65, her RA has grown to approximately $410,000, close to the enhanced retirement sum, from contributions and compounding combined. Her CPF LIFE payout on the escalating plan, approximately $2,560 per month at start, growing 2% per year. By 78, it overtakes anyone on the standard plan. By 85, it pays $350 more per month than standard every single month. Same country, same CPF system, same decade between 55 and 65. 3 completely different retirement incomes. The difference is not salary. Ahmad earns more than Linda. Priya earns more than Ahmad. But the gap between their outcomes is not the salary gap. The gap is what each of them did, or did not do, during the years when money was moving through the most critical decade of their financial lives without them noticing. Here is what the decade actually requires, not a checklist. What each year demands if you are paying attention. The year you turn 55 is the most important. The SA closes. You must decide within months, not years, whether the excess above FRS stays in OA at 2.5% or gets transferred to RA at 4 to 6%. That decision cannot be undone easily. The transfer from OA to RA is one way and permanent. But the alternative, leaving it in OA, is also a choice. A choice to earn less on money that is already yours. Check your HDB mortgage calculation. If you are still paying, verify that your projected OA contributions after 55 cover the installment. If they do not, calculate the shortfall now, not when the payment fails. Arrange the cash buffer before the birthday, not after. From 55 to 60. This is the RSTU window. $8,000 per year in cash top-ups to your RA. Tax relief from IRAS. 4% guaranteed on the top-up. If you have disposable income and are earning enough to pay marginal tax at 7% or above, this is a guaranteed positive return. The money you contributed at 55 is earning 4% until 65, before CPF Life even begins. The SRS is for this period, not for 65. Contribute now while you are still earning and your marginal tax rate is highest. The tax saving comes in the year you contribute, not the year you withdraw. If you are 58 and earning $80,000 a year, the tax on $15,300 contributed to SRS this year, saved at 11.5%, invested inside SRS in the STIETF, or Singapore Bank shares, not sitting in cash, which earns essentially zero inside the account. The returns accumulate tax-free until withdrawal. At 63, withdraw $30,000 a year. $15,000 is taxable, $15,000 is not. On $15,000 in taxable income, at retirement when your other income is low, the tax owed is close to zero. The bridge between 65 and 70, the deferral window, requires its own planning. If you defer CPF Life to 70 to capture the 35% payout increase, you need income for 5 years from 65 to 69. The re-employment right under Singapore law extends to 69 from the 1st of July 2026. You can work, but re-employment is often part-time, often at lower pay. Median income for those over 60 is $3,222 per month, 58% below the peak earning years. You may not be able to live on it. Build the bridge before you need it, not on the day you leave your last job. Ahmad is still at his kitchen table. It is 11:17 at night. He has been reading the CPF website for 2 hours. He found the transfer function on my.cpf.gov.sg. The $22,600 that went from SA to OA when his SA closed, he can move it to RA right now. The page is open. It says the transfer is one way and irreversible. He pauses. He calls his younger brother who works in finance. His brother says, if you have no plans for that money in the next 10 years and you want it to fund your retirement payout, move it. The RA will earn more than the OA. The decision is that simple. Ahmed makes the transfer at 11:34. The $22,600 moves. His RA balance updates immediately. His projected CPF Life payout, shown on the estimator, increases by approximately $140 per month. $140 per month for the rest of his life, from 11 minutes on a Tuesday night. He sets a reminder to do the RSTU top-up in January. $8,000. He pulls up the IRAS e-filing portal to check what his marginal tax rate is at his income level. 7%. $8,000 contribution. $560 tax saved next year. Not exciting. But it is $560 more than he was saving last year by doing nothing. He is not Priya. He does not have 12 years of optimal decisions behind him. He has 9 years. He is going to use them differently than he used the last 9. The decade between 55 and 65 is not a waiting room. It is the decade where the government closes your most powerful savings account without warning, because it is scheduled, not arbitrary. But most people feel it as a shock, where your income from CPF contributions quietly drops and nobody sends you a letter about the mortgage shortfall, where a gap between your last salary and your first CPF Life payout can run anywhere from 1 year to 15, depending on when you stop working and whether you defer. Where a single dollar contributed to SRS before a specific date locks in a tax privilege that cannot be reclaimed afterward. Most Singaporeans spend this decade doing what Ahmad did at the start, carrying two statements, knowing something is different, telling themselves they will figure it out later. The ones who arrive at 65 with $2,500 per month instead of $1,780 did not earn more money. They understood what was happening while it was happening. What is your plan for the gap between 55 and 65? If you are already in it, the OA to RA transfer is on the CPF website tonight. If you are approaching it, the SRS account takes one contribution of $1 before the window closes. If you are far from it, start with the question Ahmad never asked himself at 45. When I stop earning, what do I live on until CPF LIFE begins? The gap is real. The planning is optional. The consequence of not planning is not. Next video, why most Singaporeans with an SRS account are using it wrong, and the one withdrawal strategy that cuts their retirement tax bill by $40,000.